Hey, glad you get to watch this video with Tracy and I. If you would like deeper help, please note that we've provided 2 links for resources for you below once you get done watching this video. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and I'll see you on the other side. Tracy is a wedding photographer, has absolute gorgeous work, and Tracy's actually not too far from me. Like, I don't know, maybe like an hour and 45 minutes or something like that. And
Yes.
she's
Okay.
just beautiful style. And, Tracy, I don't know. How'd you even like decide you were going to reach out to me about SEO stuff?
Well, I had been seeing it for a little while. And of course, like you said, we're connected already. So I feel like had the advantage in that way of already like kind of knowing the ends of what you do. And so I actually had a friend sign up with you, and that piqued my interest even more. So that's when, after hearing like a little bit more about her success and it working, I reached out.
Very cool. Well, I was glad you did because, you've got amazing work. And I know I keep saying that, but it's true. I was actually just looking at your Instagram today, right? And I was like,
Thank
man,
you.
Tracy's work is so pretty. So you shoot film still, I think, right? And but you've got kind
Primarily
of
with film.
this, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I knew you used to, wasn't for sure if you still did, but like the thing as you and I were talking was like, hey, I have very particular markets that I want to target, and it's
Mhm.
not the city that I live in, right?
That's right.
Which is sort of unique to your situation. So we're going to be talking about that. But I know we've got a bunch of people in here, so I just want to take a second to say hello. I see Amanda, what's up? Zach, Kira, what's up? Alicia, good to see you all here. Who else is joining us? If you're joining in, you're watching, go ahead and jump in the comment section. Let us know where you're watching from. And also hit the like button. It takes you like 2 seconds, but it makes sure that you see more of this content and make sure that other people do. So make sure you do that for me real quick. And what's up, Sarah, Tiffany, fine. Hey, glad to see y'all are here. I know I think Zoe might be an Aussie. What's up? Glad to see you here. Tiffany out in Kansas. Hello, Lauren. We even got Lavina from down in New Orleans. What's up? Awesome. Okay, so we're going to jump in and just talk a little bit more about Tracy's strategy, what she wanted to do. And then, of course, like sort of the like, well, what happened? What's some of the stuff that, kind of led up to you ranking, and just kind of get the full picture of the story. Because we probably got a good amount of people here where you're like, hey, I really would like to rank on Google. Maybe you have some specific places you like to rank on Google. You've got questions like, well, can I only rank in one location? Can I rank only in my city? Can I rank in a neighboring city? There's so many questions that I hear from you guys all the time. And so we really want to try to answer a lot of those types of questions. So if you have a burning question that is already on your plate, just drop that into the comments now, and we'll try to reach that question. Now, we'll also do a Q&A towards the end, but just note, like, this is interactive. So the more you interact, the more that we can actually tailor some of the points that we're hitting on to speak directly to your situation. So just comment whatever you got down below, and we'll try to make sure that we answer it. So Tracy, I know that so you're ranking for Aspen, and we'll screen share in a minute and actually look at that ranking and talk a little bit about it. But you're also, you're ranked for multiple cities now, right? Like, maybe not all first page yet, but they're climbing. So fill me in a little bit on, like, what are some of the other cities that you've been targeting?
So, like you said, Aspen, Vale, Jackson Hole. I've also done a little bit of work on a specific venue here in Kentucky that I love to work at, which I know is a little bit different. Let me pull up my SEO Edge really quick and make sure that I'm.
Yeah, and take your
So,
time. And I'll explain that real quick, because some of especially our newest members probably don't even know what SEO Edge is. So
okay,
SEO
yeah.
Edge is a free app. And so I teach my dream client members, like, hey, here's one of the easiest on the fly ways to track your rankings. And I find it to be a lot more accurate than, say, SEM Rush or Uber Suggest or a lot of these other tools. And actually, it's a nicer tool to use to track your rankings, even more so than Google Search Console, at least when it comes to in the moment rankings. Google Search Console only actually gives you rankings for like up to, but not including the last 48 hours. So, just a heads up, it is an iPhone app. So when Tracy mentions that, I just want to explain it. She's pulling out this app. It'll show where she's ranking at, all that kind of good stuff. So go ahead, Tracy.
Yeah. The other one that actually, we kind of talked about this in the beginning of my journey with you, but I made my, my like homepage. If you want to like go into what that means, because I'm terrible at explaining this stuff, but um, I made a specific target to destination wedding photographer. And that one is ranking at 6 right now.
Mhm.
Um, and so that one's a little bit strange in a sense of like it is kind of all over the place. I don't know if because it's not like city specific or state specific, if Google is kind of like letting everyone have a turn maybe.
Yeah.
But I'll like right now I'm at 6 and then tomorrow I may be at like 79.
Right.
Um, that's one of the other ones that I have targeted. That's the only one that hasn't stayed pretty consistent. Consistently climbing, it will go back
Yeah.
and forth.
Yeah.
So Aspen is number 2. Like I said, the what I'm targeting for the specific venue here in Kentucky is Ashbourne Farms. It's number 4.
Oh, you're number 4 for that.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I'm really, and I get tons of work from that one specifically because I've already done a lot of work there too. So
Hmm.
it's super helpful to like when someone Googles me and they've already seen me here and there, and like the venue is sharing me, but then they also Google me and I come up. It's been very, very helpful. And then I don't know if I said this yet, but Vail is 11, which I went from, I got a few more backlinks a couple weeks ago.
Hmm.
And I went from 14 to now I'm like consistently staying at 11, and I'm still
Beautiful.
waiting on Google to find some of those backlinks. And so I'm hanging out at 11. I'm hoping that I'm going to be like in a number 2 position for it soon also.
Yes.
And then
Love it.
Jackson Hole, I haven't put a ton of effort in there yet, but I'm like at 24.
Okay. So that one's probably still kind of slowly making its way up. If you're at 11, you're really close, probably close to being page 1 on that. I would say sometimes Google will actually have 11 spots on the first page. A lot of times it's 10 spots, but sometimes it's 11 spots. So it's like, depending on what Google decides to show to people, don't ask me why it's like that, but depending
Mhm.
on how they decide to display it, you might be on the first page, but what we target obviously, and you've probably heard me say this a million times being in dream clients, it's like we want to aim for high first page, right? Like we
Mhm.
don't want to just be first page. And I say this because like you've done a fantastic job, and I'll screen share this because it's like proofs in the pudding, right? Like when we say you're number 2, right? So page number 1, just explain this real quick. Page number 1, result number 2. Okay, so the not is the first one that pops up, which a lot of people, especially probably your higher end clients, are not going to actually click on the not,
Yes, that's
right?
right.
So you're the first photographer, then it's carrots and cake. This other photographer, wedding wires down here. The cool thing is like you, well, let me ask you this. Do you have a lot of work that like is from Aspen? Because we have people in here. I actually hear this when people are like, oh, well, I probably don't need to do SEO yet because I don't have either very much work in a particular area they want to rank in, or they just don't have a big portfolio. So,
No,
I
I've
just,
actually never shot a wedding in Aspen yet.
okay. Okay. So how's that for ranking without ever actually having shot there? And this is what I try to tell people. Like you
Mhm.
don't have to actually have work in that particular area to rank for that area. We have gotten work in particular areas because we ranked there first without actually even having a portfolio. And
Mhm.
the extreme story of that y'all have probably heard me say before is that like when we first started our business, it was like we had 2 weddings that we'd shot, and these were low budget weddings. We had 1 wedding that Michelle had second shot that wasn't, it was like an okay budget wise wedding, but it wasn't super high end. And we had those, so 3 weddings in our entire portfolio, and we're booking up to $1,600 clients. We switched things around, adjusted our messaging, our branding, and stuff like that, made these improvements. A lot of the stuff that I teach inside of this group and obviously inside dream clients. And our next client after I made those changes, just again, 2 months later, was a $7,500 client. So the moral of the story, and this is why we do these live streams, is, you know, you're probably watching right now, and there's things that you subconsciously or maybe consciously believe that are actually holding you back, right? You're saying, well, I can't rank there because of, I've never done any work there, right? Or, well, I can't rank on Google because I don't have enough portfolio, or I can't book these types of clients because of, again, you enter in some reason why. And the thing is you're limiting yourself. Even if it was true, the thoughts themselves are limiting you. So this is where, again, if you've got, you know, people that are trying to direct you and they've got experience and coach, mentor, stuff like that, it's like, hey, that's where we start to eliminate some of those false belief patterns so that you can achieve stuff that you didn't think you could. And so here's Tracy, you know, ranking number 2 in Aspen without actually having ever shot there. Okay. So pretty neat stuff, I think. So when it comes to ranking, what do you think has been like the most helpful thing for you in helping you be successful at ranking? Because a lot of people get into, or they start getting into SEO and they go, oh my gosh, I'm completely overwhelmed. So what do you think has taken you from that place of being like, to now literally being on page 1 for a competitive luxury market?
Yeah. Honestly, it was finding people within the community that you created to like buddy up with, become friends with, that can like, we can lean on each other for things. So there's a person in the group specifically that I'm talking about, and he's been like a tremendous help. And just like, if he knows the answer, he'll be honest and help me. If he doesn't, he'll be like, hey, let's like figure it out together, you know. But it's been like having someone there to be like, you can do it, like this is how you can do it, or like let's figure it out together. I know that can be like personality, you know, based on personalities, but it's been really helpful for me to have someone to lean on.
Yes. Yep. And that's exactly what we wanted to create, was a community. And I don't know if we still ask people this on our forums, but we used to ask like, hey, why should we let you into our community? Because one of the big things is we want the community to be able to support itself. So, and I know exactly who you're talking about. It's Cody, right? We talking about Cody?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, which Cody is now our client success specialist as well.
Mhm.
So like, you know, his job is literally to find people in our community and to say, hey, how can I help you? You know, how can I come in, support you? And again, we're talking about our dream clients program community. So, you know, the ability to get that support is what we find, generally speaking, is whether it's in masterminds or just in the community in general, that's, you know, you link up with somebody that knows how to do it. And now you don't have to go, what do I do? I'm stuck.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to ranking for Aspen, Vail, these other markets, what made you choose those markets specifically to target?
Yeah. So, you know, just the number one reason is very simple. And that is that the whole aesthetic matches my brand. I'm very drawn to that area, for vacationing. Just the whole vibe is like the same as my vibe and my brand in general. And so I've just kind of had these aspirations of shooting these types of weddings that happen out west. And I feel like I'm really close. I saw someone in the comments, I haven't been able to read everything, but someone mentioned that you need a planner to work in Aspen. I just wanted to speak to that a little bit. As someone that serves the luxury market, I'm very aware that you do need planners to operate in those spaces, specifically Vail and Aspen. But what I felt like was important for SEO purposes was get me in, like get my foot in the door, period. So to shoot an engagement session out there, to shoot, you know, if it were someone else, maybe a family session. I only take on weddings and engagements. But to just get my name out there within those spaces and then start working with those planners, because I'm, super aware that I have to be working with a planner on the level that I'm operating my business at. So my next goal is to shoot some engagement sessions out there. I have had a few inquiries. And this has been something too. I have been able to recommend planners. They may say, like, in that section, like, I don't have a planner yet, or like still searching. And I'm like, hey, I have this planner friend that is in the area. Reach out to her, and just building relationships in that way.
Yes, exactly. Well said. And just a second on that. One of the things that we found with Google was, there's specific planners that we wanted to work with. There was one in particular. And what we did was we ranked on Google. A bride reached out to us and, said, hey, I'm interested in working with you, da, 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 da. And actually the way that they approached it made me kind of think it was a scam. And so I said, well, who's your planner? And I reached out to the planner and they said, yes, that's my bride. And so I came back, they loved us, and that became over a 10K client for us. And that was actually how we began working with that planner.
Right.
So then now you've got a relationship. And so I get it. I get that, you need to be working with a planner, and, high-end couples are going to be using planners. And I agree with that to an extent, but the power of ranking on Google is what Tracy just said. Number one is it gets your foot in the door. So there's going to be some couples that, even though their planner recommends a certain three photographers, that does not mean that they're going to choose those three photographers. There are certain clients that have a high degree, even if they're high end, they have a high degree and need for autonomy, and they may consider the planner's recommendations, hey, these three photographers. Now, maybe the planner says, no, you can only use those three photographers. Those probably exist, right? But for other instances where they don't, which, again, we won't even go into that. You've got a door, because now someone with a high degree of autonomy says, oh, you know what, I'm going to Google search. Now, the second part that Tracy just mentioned there was, okay, well, I'm actually able to refer planners. This is one of the most, I don't know anybody else teaching this. I know nobody else teaching this. Using Google to rank so high for things that you're actually able to send referrals to people that are above you, typically on the vendor food chain. Now, in Dream Clients, I actually teach this whole strategy. It's called the Apex Vendor Strategy. And we've had people that, again, brand new in markets. We had one person, she's out in Phoenix. She was brand new. She started using the Apex Vendor Strategy, again, using Google to actually send referrals. And I think it was like maybe a couple weeks being out there, she gets 3 referrals from a planner and books 2 of those. And that's the thing that I think so many people are sleeping on, is that Google is not just to get found. It's okay, you actually are able to assert yourself higher in the food chain, right? Because usually people are talking to venues and they're talking to planners before they're talking to us as photographers. But if you,
it's another touch point.
It's another touch point. Yeah. But, long term, it's like, hey, let's get you not only giving them referrals, which creates reciprocity, but also now you're getting on the preferred vendors list. And I will tell you, and this goes into the third point. What a lot of people miss is, and I have, people that charge a lot for weddings. And one of the things that they commonly, like what they want SEO for, is they're like, I don't even care if I book off of it. I just want the clout. Because guess what? Other people in the market begin to become aware, or more aware, because they see that person ranking on Google. Because guess what? Your first page of Google, people notice. The planners notice. Maybe the venue owners notice. Other photographers notice. You begin being talked about more. And so there's more awareness that leads to, okay, cool. Now you've got more awareness. This leads to even other booking opportunities. So you can book off of Google, even high end, you can book directly from Google. It gets you in the door with planners, and it creates more opportunity for you to be able to establish yourself as a dominant figure in that particular market. Anything you'd add to that, Trace? That's pretty much what you said. I'm just, really you've got me fired up because you mentioned that, but anything else you would add to that?
No, I think the only thing I would add is I've seen direct results, not off of Aspen yet, just because I've only been, ranking first page for like a few weeks. But um, specifically speaking about Ashbourne, I have done this. I have been found through Google, and then they are because Ashbourne is a very high end venue, they just by default have the budget to hire who I'm going to pitch them to hire
Yeah.
as their planner. And so I've done this several times. I've said, like, look into these 3 people, and they've booked who I've recommended.
Awesome. So you're saying that's giving you that advantage to start sort of giving out referrals to
Yeah,
the
and
people that you're
building up that rapport with those planners while also building up my portfolio, because I'm working with the planners that I want to be working with.
exactly. Yes, 100%. And I know we've got a few questions coming in, so we can take a look at those and maybe try to get to a couple. And another thing, if y'all will comment this, where are you trying to rank for this? If for nothing else, is this just to help you start thinking about this? Because maybe you haven't even thought about where you would actually rank for. Now, look, I say one city's great, but we talk about stacking multiple cities, stacking multiple locations, because it's possible to rank for multiple locations. So some areas there's less traffic for, right? So you might have a place like, for instance, I know Key West actually doesn't, you think, oh, Key West, that would be a cool place to shoot. Key West is a little bit funny. There's not a whole lot of search traffic there, right? So like I have somebody in Dream Clients that they are, Key West, but they're wanting to target Miami. They're like, hey, just in general, we kind of want to get out of Key West. We want to get into Miami more because there's higher paying weddings there. So their Google strategy is to target a larger city that's nearby. But, I've talked about this, and inside the, if you're an Easy SEO Insider, I go through how to actually do market research to figure out about how much traffic you could get and how much of that traffic you could turn into inquiries, et cetera, et cetera. But I know we have a question of, and somebody said Nashville, wanting to rank in Lexington and Nashville. Yep. Alicia was asking, so your backlinks are driving your traffic to various places, or your keywords, or are your keywords on your page? And the answer to that, Alicia, is actually both. That's both. Fawn was saying, how much do you think you spent to rank for each of those? Did you purchase backlinks yet? So it kind of goes with another question. Somebody, I think, was, I'm gonna go ahead and read this one, and we'll answer both of those. Where was the other one? Somebody said something about backlinks, and where did it go to? We're gonna find it. Hold on a second, y'all. I don't know where it went. Did somebody delete this? I don't know. Okay, so back to the question. How much do you think you spent to rank for each of those? You want to answer that? I don't even know necessarily how to answer that.
Well, I spent money to become a Dream Client.
Right.
That was my big purchase there. But then the only thing that I've done beyond that is purchase backlinks, like just outsourcing those. So I could have done that work on my own, but that was just something that I chose to outsource to Cody.
Exactly. We now offer that. That's one of the things that we have a service where we actually get backlinks for people. So that's kind of a cool thing. And it's the big thing I try to caution people against is backlinks are very dangerous for a couple reasons. One is getting the wrong type of backlinks, meaning either they're very low quality. The other side of that coin is that they're actually spammy and bad. So I've seen people get backlinks and it hurt them more than it helped them. Another point to consider on that is that there's actually ways to make your backlinks worth way, way more if you understand how to use keywords, supportive keywords, anchor text, etc. And then another part of that is you can actually get, there's such a thing as getting too many backlinks in too short of a time. And so Google actually likes to see organic growth when it comes to backlinks. And so there's an art and a science to backlinks, right? So that's why I always try to caution people, like, you really got to know who you're getting backlinks from, because if you don't, it can actually be detrimental. And I've seen that. I've seen people get backlinks and that it actually hurt their rankings because they did not take into consideration those 3 points that we just went over. Let's see. More questions. Let's see. How long you been ranking top 5? I think we already answered that because you've only been up there for maybe top 5, maybe a couple weeks tops.
Yeah, 3 to 4 weeks maybe.
Yeah, because I know you had the post where you hit like, maybe it was like the first page, and then I wasn't for sure when you hit page 1, but it's been, yeah, it's so less.
I honestly went from, I feel like 12, 10, somewhere around there. I can't remember the exact number.
Yeah.
To 2 really quickly.
Yep.
So it
Yeah, it was
really
a big jump.
Yeah, it was a jump.
The second part of that question was leads. You've gotten a few leads from that, a couple leads from that. The thing to consider with ranking here is right now is actually the super slow time right before engagement season. So if you actually, and you guys can do this, you can go on Uber Suggest, you can actually type in a keyword inside the keyword research tool, and it will show you the search volume per time of the year. So I try to tell people when you're ranking on Google, you could, depending on your market, you could get a steady flow of inquiries. So we know like in some markets, it's almost like you can just get an inquiry a day, like pretty consistently. In other markets where it's more like people are booking at very specific times of the year, which honestly is most of the country, it may go quiet for a little bit. And then, it hits like booking season and you might book out 70% of your calendar or something like that. It just depends, right? So, Josie was asking, how would you suggest getting more backlinks? I'm going to put a selfish, shameless plug in here. We have a service for that. If that's something you're interested in, you should totally reach out and we can talk about it. Let's see. Suggestions on vendors I don't know where that one went. It just disappeared on me. I don't know if I freaked out or what. Okay. So I think we pretty much caught up on the questions. So, we can continue accepting some if you want to, y'all can always feel free to put it in questions and stuff like that. But other than that, I think the big thing that we've covered here is like, okay, when it comes to ranking on Google, you should have a very specific strategy. It's not always necessarily just going to be your local market, right? Like you don't shoot in your city very much, right?
Where I live in, a very small remote town in Western Kentucky. I don't shoot here at all anymore. What I call my local work would be Lexington, Louisville, and then Nashville, Tennessee is only an hour and 45 minutes south of me.
Yeah.
So I would say 50% of my work is local and then 50% is travel.
Yeah, but in your direct city where you live, I don't
shoot here at all anymore. Yeah. I haven't shot a wedding here in probably 4 years.
Yeah, I've shot one wedding ever in my city of residence. Yeah, because we live south of Louisville, right? Mm-hmm. So again, like the thing that I want you guys to take away from that is ranking. You should be thinking and doing the research on like what area and or multiple areas do you want to target. And again, like I try to teach you guys, okay, hey, look, you use a keyword research tool to add up the traffic. Because if you say, okay, I can get 1,000 visitors between these, maybe it's 2 cities, maybe it's 1 city, maybe it's 5 cities, depending on where you're at. I know like we have somebody out in Northern California, I think they're ranking for 15 different locations, right? But for you, if you're like sitting there going, man, I really would like to rank on Google, the best thing you can do is like Tracy, have a strategy. Like, don't just go into it with like this, oh, I'm just going to do some, SEO stuff. I think when you first came to me, Tracy, you said something to the extent of, how were you feeling when you first came to me about SEO? How'd you feel about SEO back then?
Completely terrified.
Right. Terrified, right? But what made you feel that way?
I mean, to be honest, and I'm still this way. I mean, I'm just not tech savvy and I don't feel 100% confident going into things like that. My expertise and where I soar is, behind the camera and with people. And this is definitely not my expertise. And so I was just extremely worried that I wouldn't succeed because I wouldn't understand what the videos were speaking on. But once I got into it and realized, you watch a video and it's extremely broken down and like in a way I could understand it, and it made me feel really good. And also to know that I had a community of people that I could lean on and ask if I needed help, or like if something wasn't making sense, I could ask and not feel stupid. Specifically speaking again to Cody, because I asked him lots of dumb questions.
Hey, that's what it's all about, right? Like the best thing to do is just ask the question. Ask the question. The most successful people I see are people that go, hey, I'm going to be resourceful, but in the end, if I've been resourceful, there's no dumb questions. And I'm going to ask it. I'm not going to feel bad for asking it. And that's a whole mindset thing, right? Asking the right questions. Yeah. So, do you think that like, if you didn't have that, do you think that you would be ranking on Google now?
If I didn't have what, the relationship?
Yeah, community and sort of like the guided support, help, like that kind of stuff.
I don't think that I would have been able to do it on my own. No. Like if I were to like research this information and try to do it on my own, I just personally don't feel like I would soar with that. But that's again just part of like me and who I am. There may be some people that can do that, but it definitely wasn't for me to just try to figure it out on my own.
In what makes you say that specifically? Does it go back to the text, like you mentioned, the tech savviness? Yeah. And what do you, let's define that a little bit, because I hear this a lot from people, the concern with the tech side of things. So when you say I'm not tech savvy, what do you mean specifically by that?
Just honestly, like even with my website, like before I even thought about even doing SEO, I would get extremely overwhelmed by, and again, I think it's just like a personality trait, but like going in to show it and like I couldn't get something moved or figured out, and I would be like automatically feel extremely overwhelmed and like discouraged, and then just kind of give up on it. And so that's kind of like what I thought would happen with SEO too. Thankfully it didn't, but
yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, and I think that's helpful again, because some people are watching and they probably feel very, very similar in the sense that they're going like, well, can I actually rank on Google? If I don't understand how to handle the tech stuff? And I try to harp on this for everybody, because it'll make you reconsider a lot, because here's what I found. A lot of the SEO stuff that is out there, generally speaking, it is way more technical than anyone actually needs to be. I don't think I ever taught you about website speed, right? No. Did I ever tell you to go rename all your file images? Did I tell you that you need to blog until your fingers bleed?
No, I actually like had the idea in my head that that's what I needed to do beforehand, but then realized that that wasn't the number one way to rank.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. It's because some, on the other side of that coin, people say, well, Jeff says to never blog. I'm not saying to not blog. There are some fine reasons to blog, especially if you're trying to serve your clients. But yeah, a lot of people come in, they go, oh, I got to blog until my fingers bleed, and that's how I can rank. Just not the way that it actually works. And again, Tracy's
something I loved about the program was I also lack in blogging and fail in that area a lot of the time. And so to know that this was something that I could do, and work on very hard in the beginning, and then see it pay off and pay off and pay off, and I don't have to do anything else. So that takes a huge pressure off of my shoulders to know that like I don't have to go and blog everything that I shoot in order to rank.
Yes, love it. And another thing I don't know that we've really covered is like, you have the ability now to rank for any location that you want to. And so I don't know that you ever considered like an agency. Did you ever think about working with like an agency, like having someone do the SEO for you?
I did that years ago,
Oh,
and
really?
it was a I don't did I not tell you that? This was
I
like
don't.
back in 2016. I paid someone to, and they like went into my website and changed things themselves. And it was just a really bad experience. It didn't really help. And there was no like customer service. There wasn't anything. It was just like a one and done.
Mm. So they went in, changed some stuff, and then you didn't see anything from it, really.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Which is super common,
Hmm.
very, very common. So you're not alone in that. But did you feel like you walked away with any greater ability to do SEO, or did you feel like no, they literally just went in, said they did some stuff? Did you even know if they did stuff actually?
No, that was the thing. Like I said, I don't know, like, or didn't know before. I know now, SEO and what I need to do, but before I had no idea to even what to look for.
Yeah.
And so they could have done absolutely nothing, and I would have never known the difference. That's
Yeah.
probably what happened, actually.
It's very possible. And it's sad to say, but I have yet to hear of a single person that has hired an agency. So going to an agency, they do SEO saying, hey, I'll give you money. Usually it's like a small monthly payment,
Mhm.
and they're supposed to be doing something in sending you, reports and all this kind of stuff. And I'll draw this out. See, I said I'm going to draw it out. I don't know if I can. I'll try. I'll try to draw this out for everybody. And this is especially for people if you've thought about possibly paying someone to do SEO for you. I just always caution against it. I'm not the only one. There's plenty of people that do caution, because it can be a very, very big waste of money. Because like if you think of SEO and like what an agency does, think of it in terms of like, can you all see my whiteboard? Does everybody see it? Let me know in the comments if you see it. If you don't see it, still listen to me, because you should be able to pick this up. Do you see me? Do you see it, Tracy? Do you see the
I
whiteboard?
can see it.
Do you see the lines I'm drawing here?
I do.
Okay, good. So there's kind of like the old way, which agencies use, the old SEO tactics. The new SEO is really, it's new. It's only new because we have artificial intelligence. So Google utilizes artificial intelligence now to do the stuff that they've always wanted to do, which is to provide the best website results. So the old SEO is really about hacking the algorithm. So they'll go in, they'll try to get tons of backlinks, BL for backlinks. Okay. They'll maybe try to optimize the speed of the website. So they go in and content. They might try to produce a bunch of content for you. So now you've got this content that's all in your site. And so I see people emphasize these things a lot of times, and they think, oh, well, I paid somebody to do that. And they'll pay them for a long time sometimes. I mean, the worst case scenario so far is somebody paid $13,000 for old SEO. The new SEO is really just user experience. Like, how do I get this person to spend more time on my website? And I use keywords, but I'm not necessarily focusing on that to the detriment of user experience. So backlinks still kind of matter. You want to have content, but content isn't king. It's the user experience that's king. So the agency, they can't really focus on things like user experience and conversions. They'll focus more so on trying to get you a bunch of backlinks, maybe trying to make your website faster. And then they might try to sell you on a content package, and they'll try to say, oh, you might be able to rank in, 12 months or something like that. With you, how long did it take you to hit page 1 for Aspen?
It took almost the 90 days.
But right up on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe right before, maybe, I don't know. It was probably a
Well,
few days before that.
okay. So 3 months ish,
Mhm. Mhm.
normal time to rank. Even if you're working with an agency, usually an agency is going to say about 12 to 15 months. So
Mhm.
they want you on a retainer and they want you paying monthly. You don't get the ability to actually rank for multiple locations usually, unless you're paying multiple you're paying more money now to rank for those multiple locations. And
Right.
again, like Tracy, like you were saying, did you even know if anything actually happened on your site?
Right. I didn't come away really with anything. I'd say the really wonderful thing about your program has been, like you said, I can now like take this information that I know and like, sounds so cheesy, but like the sky's the limit. Like I can literally rank for anything because I know how to do it myself.
Yes.
And I have like this template that I've created by using your program. And now like I literally just copy and paste it to new locations. So it's
Yes.
like I can literally rank for anything. I just have to have the time to sit down at my computer and work on it.
And do it. Yeah. And just get it done. Exactly though. And that's, I mean, me as someone that like, I love to see people, the light bulb goes off. Right.
Mhm.
And in the way that I like to produce content, hopefully most of us recognize this. I look at it and go, okay, if I was ADHD, which never diagnosed, but probably could have been, how would I want to consume this video? How would I want to consume this content? I don't want to sit down. If I'm watching an instructional video, I'll listen to long podcasts, but if I'm watching an instructional video, I don't want to sit down for an hour and a half and, made it through 1 hour and a half long video. And I still don't really know exactly what I'm doing. I want to sit down
Mhm.
5 minutes and go, bam,
Love that.
here's exactly what I need to do. Just get it
Yes.
done. Okay, next video, move on to it, move on to it, move on to it. So,
Mhm.
again, one of the big things, just to highlight this for you guys, though, what Tracy has done is, yes, she's done the research. Okay, so she figured out exactly a customized plan for her business, right, to connect with her ideal clients that takes into account, like, yeah, look, her ideal clients are, if not always, almost always using a planner.
Mhm.
We've taken that into account, right? Like that's something that you had thought about. There's solutions for that. Then it's like, okay, hey, you are not just throwing out, money to a agency. You're not just getting backlinks. You're actually taking your site and making sure that it's set up to where it clearly communicates to Google. And then you're using backlinks strategically
Mhm.
to help boost up the authority it has with Google. And listen, guys, if you've enjoyed Tracy sharing this with you guys, or you have other questions, like go ahead and drop those questions in now. But I want you to show some appreciation for Tracy being willing to take the time to jump in here and talk with us. Just comment value. If you've enjoyed this, let us know. Go into the comments, comment value. Now, if you're like, oh man, I really would like to have more clarity, there's a few ways that you can get more clarity. Obviously, we do these live streams inside this group. Like you can keep coming to the live streams. Another thing that we launched this back on like Black Friday. If you're interested in it, we've opened up a sort of a place to get started with the principles of ranking and understanding keywords and like researching your market and some of the same things that Tracy has been sharing with us. We've opened up an offer for you. It's called the Easy SEO Insider. I'm going to share a link for that. Okay. This is if you don't want to pay for something, don't worry about it. It is a paid offer for people that want to go a little bit deeper. No pressure to do that, but you do get some really, really cool access to stuff. So I would definitely take a look at that page, read over it, see if it's something for you. If you got questions, let me know. The other way, though, to start getting some help is you can comment, reach out. If you comment, reach out, Michelle, my wife, will follow up with you. We'll ask some, she will ask some questions about your business and see if we can help you with just giving you a game plan. Okay. So we do some game plan calls and some different things. Tracy's in Dream Clients. Dream Clients is invite only. Okay. For people that have an interest in that, that can always be a conversation, but it is invite only. I'll only take a few people in a specific period of time, like monthly, to be inside of Dream Clients. So look, we're here for you. I want you to know that there are avenues to get help if you're serious about ranking on Google and booking Dream Clients. So I do need to go back to the comments real quick to see if we had any other questions for Tracy. And let's see. So we got the question of Fang asks, I'm starting up. Should I worry about ranking later since I don't really have experience shooting weddings? Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. you don't have to have a big portfolio, but obviously people need to see pictures, right? So I recommend, if you're just starting up, probably the fastest way to get a couple weddings, at least, where you can post pictures on your website, is to try to second shoot and see if the photographer that you're second shooting for will allow you to use the photos on your website. You want to make sure beforehand whether or not they are okay with that, because if they're not and you start sharing them, you can get yourself into some trouble. So don't do something you're not supposed to, but there are ways to go ahead and start getting a portfolio. That being said, you can start ranking a website whenever, right? So there's never really a bad time to start ranking a website. Even if you don't really have photos yet, technically you can go ahead and get it, like start getting it found by Google. Just know, like, if you don't have any photos and someone comes to your website, it's going to be kind of an awkward thing for them to come in and not see any photos. Another question, Josie says, how do you get an image to show next to your website on Google search? So some website builders, depending on the one you use, will do this sort of automatically, but they usually choose it arbitrarily. There are ways through things like schema markup to actually choose the photo that you want Google to actually show there. Sometimes they're still a little bit arbitrary and they'll pick a random photo anyhow. But Tracy, did you do schema markup and it actually pick up the photo that you wanted to?
I did.
Okay, good. You're a success story. Every once in a while, Google still likes to mess with people. Let's see. Fawn asked, do you sell show it templates once in your course? So here's what I do. Number one, I think that people put way too much emphasis on the website and the design of the website. Generally speaking, what most people are wanting to see is actually a website that's fairly common in its layout, but then we customize it so that there's psychology switches so that they actually shift from looking at your photos to developing an internal picture of you, helping them to feel more confident about who they are. So we teach all this. It's an identity-based marketing shift that luxury brands use. Actually, we're going to be launching a specific mini course inside of the Easy SEO Insider that goes a little bit deeper into that high-level sales psychology. But I try to tell people, look, if you want to get a beautiful website, that's totally fine. But I've seen people get really beautiful websites and they still struggle to convert. So a lot of times it's more so your messaging than it is your website. So there are plenty of show it templates that are completely adequate. That's okay if you want to get a template, but the warning I have for you is sometimes I see certain templates that people buy from third-party people that actually have bad stuff in the code that has affected their SEO. So I say it's almost always better to like have just a good old show it theme that you don't have to worry about. Again, there's plenty that you can customize for yourself. Let's see. Fang was asking about how you find a photographer who's okay with second shooting. You just got to message people, usually not in your area. Would you agree with that, Tracy? Second shooters, like if you're trying to get a second shot, sometimes photographers, depending on the state and city and stuff, can be more stingy.
I think it's all in your personality
I agree.
and how approachable you are.
Yep.
I had some success in the beginning second shooting for local people here, but I mean, again, I think it's all your approach and how approachable you are.
Yes, I agree with that. And so the moral of the story is maybe try some local people in your area. Just reach out, and how you reach out depends on what you like best. Sometimes people are posting in groups saying, hey, I'm looking for a second shooter. So there might be a local group. There's even like national, I think it's like shootwith.me or something like that. Somebody may know the website or Facebook group that I'm talking about. Good question though. Zach was asking, I love that we have the puppy dog up here now as well.
I'm sorry.
So,
Ruby
no,
had
I
the
love it.
conversation.
I love it.
She really was needing my attention.
She's like, I need up. Pick me up, please. Your dog's name Ruby, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because so Ruby is your dog. Ruby is my daughter. And then my dog is Bingo. And then you have a child named Bingo, right? Like, it's crazy. That's a joke, by the way. I'm just teasing about that. But no, your dog.
And you have an Iris.
Yes. Yeah. The similarities are uncanny. It's like, there was like a glitch in the Matrix or something. And so Zach says, and we're going to be closing this down here pretty shortly, guys. I just know we got a few more questions coming in. Zach asked, what if you're having indexing issues in Google Search Console? Is that something that's covered in the Easy SEO Insider? That's actually a fantastic question. I believe I have to go back and double check. Here's the thing. That can be multiple things. So here's the big difference between something like Easy SEO Insider and something like what Tracy did with Dream Clients. Dream Clients can be especially tailored to your specific situation. And sometimes there's such nuance that it's like, look, there's a situation I've seen that 10 people have had that the 11th person, it's just different. It's just different. So I will, if I don't already, I'll more than likely be covering some of that stuff in the Easy SEO Insider. So if you haven't clicked on that, you'll see this, but I'm releasing multiple like courses / mini courses over a schedule. And so we're always trying to add new content into that Easy SEO Insider members area. And so like one of the things that I look for is like, if insiders are like, oh, hey, Jeff, it'd be awesome to have some content on this. I'll be able to create some content kind of around what I'm seeing demand for. Now, again, it's not like Dream Clients, right? Where we can deep dive and I can handhold and we can literally walk through stuff. And you got the Dream Clients communities around you. So again, I don't want people to think like, oh, Easy SEO Insider, it's basically the same thing. It's very different. Dream Clients is for people that are like, hey, I want a transformation. I want to rank on first page of Google in 30 to 90 days. And I want hand-holding help through that entire process. So it's done with you. Easy SEO Insider is vastly different content. It's vastly different goals. We still want you to rank, but it is a DIY access. Okay. And we're gonna have to shut it down here pretty soon. I know Tracy's got some sick kids and stuff to attend to, so she's been so generous hanging out with us. Anna asks, any quick tips on optimizing the site if rankings continue to fluctuate up and down by 2 to 4 ranks, but not making much progress outside of that? Great question. A lot of times that's your keywords. How are you using your keywords? And Anna, you should inside of the Easy SEO or the Dream Clients members area, ask that. And I almost guarantee you're going to get some responses from some of our Dream Clients members that have experienced that. So utilize the community there. That usually, though, has a lot to do with your the way that you've used your keywords and whether or not you've used supportive keywords, stuff like that. You're welcome. Okay, guys, we're going to shut this thing down. I'm so thankful that y'all are here. Again, look, we're going to do these live streams. We're going to start doing them Thursdays at 6 p.m. because it seems like that's been a good time so far for everybody. I want to see more of you guys. I'm so grateful for you and for you being in this group. And again, Tracy, thank you for being here. It's a pleasure. Can't wait to see you ranking. We'll see you ranking like number 1 here for Aspen, I think, right? And then maybe like maybe start at number 2 for Vail, and just get you moving up for those as well, right?
I'm here for it.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Tracy. And thank you to everybody else that's been here. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the evening. And again, comment, reach out if you're watching replay even. Okay. We've got support for you guys. Thank you. Until next time, it's been Easy SEO Live.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations for watching all the way to the end of this video. Now it's time, if you would like more specialized help, to check out the resources below by clicking on either the button on the left or the button on the right, depending on what you think is most interesting, or possibly doing both of those options. So what are you waiting for? The buttons are down there. Let's get you ranking on Google. See you soon.